Pro Football Weekly's got the fantasy football matchups for you to exploit and avoid. North, we'll start with the guys you should play this week. Eli Manning quietly having a great season this week, an especially good play against the Patriots.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say Eli's actually on pace for his finest statistical season. He's averaging over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns each week, brought the Giants from behind last week. He's not throwing as many interceptions recently, which is obviously huge for him. He goes up against the New England defense. Hasn't had any answers in the secondary all year. It doesn't look like they're going to find any more this week against Eli.
Yeah, for running backs, Darren Sproles does a little bit of everything for the Saints this week going up against the Bucks.
Yeah, Sproles definitely been one of the most pleasant surprises or sleepers, if you will, this season. Actually, his worst performance of the season came in Week 6 against the Bucks, so he'll be looking to avenge that. He'll be looking to obviously avenge a rough loss in St. Louis for the Saints last week. Goes up against a Tampa defense allowing 187 offensive yards and 1 1/4 touchdowns to the running back position. Solid play with Sproles this weekend.
For the wide receiver position, a guy that came on for the first time we've been waiting all year, and finally Jonathan Baldwin stepped up last week.
And it was worth the wait. Jonathan Baldwin with his first career touchdown, a 39-yarder where he high-pointed the ball and beat his defender. He's looked really good last week anyway. Big, physical, tough guy going up against the Dolphins, who are playing hard, but secondary's not having a lot of luck, allowing over 140 yards and 1.3 touchdowns to the position each week. Baldwin should be a solid play.
I think we expected that defense to be better. Ben Roethlisberger on our avoid list this week, coming off a great week against the Patriots, but going up against that tough Ravens D.
Yeah, you got it. Coming off a great week, obviously outdueled Tom Brady last week and has been playing very well as the running game has kind of struggled. Big Ben has been really their savior, but it's been a mixed bag against the Ravens. Hasn't been good the last 5 or 6 times out. You might have better options than Big Ben.
You hopefully have better options than Chris Johnson at this point. We talked last week that maybe it was going to finally be his breakout week against the Colts. Didn't happen, and now he's going against a tough Bengals defense.
You said it. Against the Colts, nothing happened. Maybe time to panic. Not only did he not do anything against Indy, but Mike Munchak actually went with Javon Ringer, went with the hot hand a little bit more in the second half. Cincinnati defense number 2 against the run in the league. Chris Johnson's just not getting it done. Doesn't look like that's going to change this week.
The tight end position, Dustin Keller, been a pretty good target for Mark Sanchez, but not this week against the Bills.
No, Keller just hasn't been consistent enough. He's had some good games. He's had some kind of quiet games, and the Bills' defense is obviously very opportunistic. Sanchez was looking for Plaxico Burress down in the red zone before the bye, so Keller's been up and down. This may not be the week to get him in your lineup.
He's not one of those tight ends that you can just be assured of, like the Jimmy Grahams, the top guys every week you're going to get it. That's a look at our fantasy football matchups to exploit and avoid this week. For the best fantasy information, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.